Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Are You Relevant is sponsored and brought to you by Legacy. Legacy is a uprising and upcoming Roblox Wrestling Federation that turns even the shittiest pro wrestlers into superstars, into main eventers, into legends, into future Hall of Famers. Folks, this is the future of Roblox Wrestling. This Fed is going to be the pillar of our community for generations to come. And the reason I say that is because of this. This Fed has some incredible and experienced staff team members that has experience in taking people who have not yet established themselves or not yet built a name for themselves and building them up from the ground up. That is what makes legacy legacy. It allows for you, regardless of your background or your experience or even your skill, to come in and have fair booking, fair opportunities, and cement a legacy for yourself. And so, if you're looking for a Fed to boost your career, to start your career, or even continue your career, then Legacy is the place to be. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy TJ Shoemaker here. Welcome back to another episode of the Are You Relevant podcast and talk show. As you've seen from the title and the thumbnail, we got a very special guest on the channel, a guest that has so many accolades in his career. He is a Fed owner, and he is most certainly a uprising star. And I want to quickly talk about that for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, he has accomplished so much. We go way back, actually, years. We go back as me and him, we used to wrestle in EEW. But speaking of EEW, he is a former two-time EEW IC champion, a former internet champion at EEW. He has won the lightweight heavyweight championship at WSW twice. He is the junior heavyweight champion at Unite. He also won the WWC European Championship, the WWC Middleweight Championship, the WWC Tag Team Championship, and the GCPW Tag Team Championship. The list goes on and on. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that this guest is Chase Challin. How are you doing today, big dog?
I'm doing pretty well. It's kind of late at night, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's on me, big dog. That's on me.
No, it's all right.
Chase, let's get straight into it. Now, of course, like I said, we go way back, right? EEW, the old days, the OG days of Roblox wrestling. Um, let's
Yeah.
talk about your beginning and you coming to Roblox wrestling, and let's talk about EEW. Of course, times were different then
Oh,
as
yeah.
they are
Definitely.
now, and so let's talk about that. Your time in EEW from your time now. What's the main differences?
Honestly, just progressions and like development, like skill wise, definitely for sure. Like some of the best pro wrestlers, like now, I feel like would just like dominate this like the previous eras of wrestling. But like everything is a lot different. There's just more advances as like years go on.
Um,
But
you
I
said
mean, I
what?
will say I miss it, but
What, you miss EEW?
I just miss kind of the old times. But like at the same time, I don't just because of the modern advances of like technologies and things.
That's understandable. Is there anything from back then that you wish could be present in today's modern Roblox wrestling?
Honestly, just everyone coming together and just support like any other Fed, even if it's a shitty Fed, people still go there. Like like, because back in 2021, bro, it doesn't matter how good the Fed was, bro. They're just gonna be pulling numbers any other time they host because it was just a Fed and everyone wanted to be there.
That is so true. And now it's like everyone's trying to compete for the top spot. Barely anyone wants to support each other. Everyone's just trying to compete. That's it.
Yeah, I mean that's very true.
Chase, you are also a Fed owner. You own NGPW, which is, of course, now Adrenaline. Let's talk about how you became a Fed owner because throughout my time of interviewing people, I've interviewed a multitude of Fed owners. I interviewed ATG last year. Um, I recently interviewed um, Kink Best, who helps with OPRW, Evan Ivory, a multitude of different Fed owners. So I want to talk about what was your reason to become a Fed owner?
Honestly, bro, I had like really no reason to do it, but just because like I seen like what Tyler was doing with EEW, I thought it was cool, and like obviously that's like what was like one of my best friends in the wrestling community. So like I actually like kind of wanted to try what he was doing and see if I can like maintain and like run a Fed on my own.
And how's that come for you? Do you think you're doing a good job? Is there anything you think you can improve on?
Honestly, bro, I can improve on it all, but at the same time I can't. Like, it's just like I don't really know. Like we're gonna see HPW. I feel like I was mediocre, but I think like with adrenaline, I think I could pull it off pretty well.
Do you have a staff team with you, or is it just you?
I mean, yeah, I got a little bit of help, but like for the most part, it's kind of just me.
Damn, that's rough, dude.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you know now that you wish you knew back then?
Honestly, bro, if when I was running HPW and I just knew about consistently promoting and just being consistent in general, bro, I think HPW could really did really well, but I wasn't really good at that shit back then.
So what's your main differences now? Like what's the huge major difference as to NGPW and Adrenaline? What can we expect?
We can expect a lot of things like Adrenaline Mania, which is like the debut, but it's kind of like a continuation of NPW. So it's like a celebration of it. But like honestly, I think everything will be better. The production will be top notch. I would say everything is just gonna be elite, as you could say. Um, like everything, you're gonna expect a lot of returns from the wrestling community. Even like an
Really?
APW will be returning to wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you give us a hint or some sense of like potentially who?
Um, I don't really know. At the moment, I want to keep everything kind of under wraps because I mean I had a return coming, but it's already like kind of been confirmed, and he's like been going to other feds as of late. But
Understandable. Okay, okay. You want to gatekeep inside. You mentioned that one of your best moments in your career was, of course, winning the WSW Lightweight Championship. You were, and I quote, hyped as hell after winning that belt. What did that moment mean to you?
honestly, it meant everything because like at the time I was in like VC with like 10 of my friends, Chris Okami, like Macho, and them. We were just like all just like shitting, like shit talking each other, and then like just like also just at WSW Royal Rumble and just like enjoying ourselves. And then like I get booked for the title and I won. I guess I think I beat Kali, Sins, and Sin for the title.
Really?
Yeah.
Sin is a incredible Fed owner, incredible rising star. Shout out to Sin. I want to get into back into your pro wrestling career actually, because you mentioned something when you were in this match for the WSW Lightweight Championship. You mentioned that you were in VC with like 10 of your friends or whatever, and I want to talk about that for a second because when we're in matches, we're nervous. There's a lot of anxiety going on. There's just, our blood is pumping, our adrenaline is running wild, no pun intended. Um, and there's a lot going on, and people have different ways of relaxing themselves and calming down and focusing and locking in on the match. Some people listen to music, some people in their VC with their friends, or some people just completely block out all the noise. What do you think is the best way to really focus in on your match and to relieve yourself of all that stress when it comes to
Honestly, bro,
these matches?
I haven't even found that out for myself, but I've seen from what helps playing music and being in call with your friends. Just either like just talking to each other normally or like having help from your friends while like you're fighting. It definitely will help, but like honestly, I haven't found the full thing for that because I still get very nervous in all my matches. It can literally be not even for a title. It could just be a normal ass match, and I'll be like scared as hell.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think that's the reason for that intimidation and for that anxiety? Do you think it's because of the person you're going against? Do you think it's because the people that's in the crowd watching you? Do you believe because if you lose, you might be talked about, whatever? Like, what do you think is the primary reason as to why so many of us are scared or just completely nervous when we're going into these big money matches?
Honestly, I don't give a shit who I'm fighting. It's just the crowd, bro. Like, especially if there's like a certain amount of people there. Because I remember one time I can call it back to where I fought JB Owens at WCWE. There was 80 people there, and it was for a title. I was fucking like shitting my boots. I'm like, I was on mobile at the time, so obviously, like I'm not gonna win. And it's like there's like 80 people in the crowd, so I'm like definitely not gonna win. But like I was like really scared because there was like so many people there.
Right. You mentioned that your biggest failure, biggest upset in your career was, of course, losing the um, BW United States Championship against the Lee Cataclysm. You got 5-0 in 2024. That, of course, is a very defining moment. To get 5-0, it is not something that any of us want to happen to us. So, what was going through your mind at that time?
Honestly, I was fresh on PC, had no clue what I was doing, and I seen Lee as like a friend and someone I kind of looked up to because we were in Cataclysm together. Well, he was actually with Stretch at the time, but like we were always been in Cataclysm together, and so like I just kind of seen it as a fun match, but also like I took it really seriously because it could have been like one of my first titles on PC.
Really?
So losing to him 5-0 because I went into the match confident. I thought I was gonna win. And then I just like for me to get 5-0, like that's just kind of like them like hurt my ego. I guess like it's like I could say.
Right. That's another thing in our community, egoing. So many people think just because they're winning these titles and these major feds that they are above everyone else. When in reality, Pro Wrestling was just made and created because of WWE fans out there, wrestling fans out there. People just wanted a way to be a part of wrestling in real life. And so they, created Roblox Wrestling. But now it's become so competitive and it's become so um, just a huge cesspool of everyone trying to climb the ranks. I'm better than you because I had this title or because I won at this event, whatever the case may be. Egoing is a huge problem, Chase. A very huge problem. And why do you think so many people um, sit here and just try to ego you? They try to ghost you in your DMs or whatever the case may be. Why do you think that is?
Honestly, because years go on, people get more advanced at the game, and it's just like skill gaps between people. And honestly, most of these people that run wrestle now, they don't even really like fucking watch wrestling. It's just a bunch of sword fighters and shit. And then like, just they'll think because of the skill gaps between you have like certain people, they'll just like try to ego you because like they think they're good at a game.
Right. Um, I Chase, there's a lot that has happened since EEW in our community. Of course, we've seen so many advancements, so many technologies and softwares made, anti-cheats, and all the different types of mechanics made for Fed owning and all that stuff. I do want to talk about when we were in EEW and in 2021 or whatever. Did you ever think that Roblox Wrestling would be what it is today? Did you ever think that it would have these advancements that it has today? Did you ever think that all like the amazing media and promotion and production that we're seeing, the taunts, the animations, or whatever the case may be, did you ever think this would be what Pro Wrestling is today?
Honestly, I had none of that thought in my mind because I was just like a 10-year-old wrestling.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, as time went on, I think like obviously it was gonna obviously happen to where like things will progress and like shit will get cooler. I guess you could say.
Right. And now that you know that we advance so well and that we age so well, looking in the near future, do you see Pro Wrestling advancing like it did? Do you see more mechanics being made, more softwares being made, better media, better production? It's kind of like how the WWF in real life turned into the WWE. There's a huge major difference, a huge shift. Do you believe we're going to see a huge shift in the upcoming years, or do you believe that we are nearing the end of the Roblox wrestling community?
Honestly, as time goes on, like the saying, like woman age like fine wine. it's gonna probably age better, but like I think the community is gonna just slowly like die out more and more as the years go on. But like more advancements definitely happen to it.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think? Because you're actually like, I believe the second ever person that I've ever talked to that talked about how pro wrestling is going to die in the near future. Why do you believe that is? Because as life goes on, there's more wrestling fans out there, more people joining Roblox, more people finding out about the community. Media and promotion is like happening like never seen before. I mean, you have some feds out there that post like 3 to 5 times a day, and that's a lot of eyes on the product of Roblox wrestling. So, what's the primary reason for you saying that Roblox wrestling will die in a few years?
Honestly, because of the way people will go to the feds nowadays, they'll just pick and choose to go to one fed and then just like rule out all the others because of their egos, or they're getting paid to go to somewhere, or it's just like honestly, Roblox has been really releasing some really bad updates for developers and shit, and so it's like just like actually like, really questionable. Just things are just like dying out with like Roblox has been dying out in general for like the past year or so. I feel like.
Oh, okay. Now this is interesting. I'm so glad you brought it up. So you're not saying that Pro Wrestling itself will die because of itself, but you're saying that Pro Wrestling will die simply because Roblox, the platform that it's on, is slowly dying because it's making updates that are affecting the developers, and it's just completely sending out so many different moderation safeguards and restrictions that it's just completely slowly taking down the community. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah and no. Like actually, the community itself is like slowly starting to bring itself like down in general. But I mean, yeah, Roblox is definitely like a factor into it.
So how can of course we can't stop what Roblox is doing, but how can we as members of this community that we all love stop this
Honestly, to
slowly death that is happening?
honestly, like to my point earlier, just supporting everyone. Like even if like you just like don't really like the person, just kind of like support them because like just everyone around like should just have a good morale and like wanting to do shit. Like everyone should just want to go to one fed, not just one fed. Just go to expand yourself to the others. Actually, like take your time and fight there. Like I mean, if you can't make the fed, I mean, I guess it's reasonable, but like just supporting one another.
So essentially saying to embrace positivity.
Yeah,
Right. Chase, you have a very bright perspective on some of these topics, and I'm really enjoying this conversation. I wanted to go back now to you, of course, being a Fed owner. Now, OPRW is ending in a few weeks, and there are so many Feds out there that are racing to become the number one Fed, racing to be the top Fed, racing to be the next big thing, the next pillar of this industry. I want to know, I want you to predict live right now, what Fed do you think will take that number one spot, will be the next big thing, will be the next pillar, will be the future of this industry? And I want to know why.
Obviously, I'm gonna put like obviously we're gonna put adrenaline in there someplace because I own it.
As it
Honestly,
should.
elite, yeah, elite and CGW. So because I've known Sid for a long time, we go back to just playing for fun back in like 2022 and R2 AEW. So that's like one of my friends, I would say. Elite's just a really like talented fed. I went there since the beginning of it. I would say I call it kind of helped save Elite back in the day.
Really?
Um, yeah, Elite was on the urge of, I guess, I would say like on a slow decline back when it was EXT, and then they had like one of the worst like laggiest arenas I've ever seen. And then like I helped develop one, and then around that time, Elite started getting traction and shit. It was just all around good, but like I wouldn't be the fool. I would since the fool that reason absolutely that the Fed's taken off. Uh, Cubert with CGW. Obviously, it's bound to happen. They've been in the IWA for already over 2 years now. And Cubert's one of my, I would say, better friends in the community. I've known him since I've been back in it in 2023. Uh, he's just a really young, talented mind, just like me, around the same age.
Right. Chase, Um, I've asked that same question to multiple Fed owners out there. I asked that same question to multiple people in the community, and I always hear them say the same answer. It's either CGW or it's Elite or it's both. Now, obviously, that means that there's a common denominator, meaning clearly there's a reason why everyone is saying that these two feds will be the future of our community. Why is that? What makes CGW and Elite so good that you got everyone saying the exact same thing?
Honestly, because it's just like their production is like, I mean, it's good. Definitely could be better, but like it's just like the Federation itself is just good. I mean, like it's fun, it's cool to be at. I mean, honestly, I think all feds should be the same way and try to be the same way, like as like have every like thing be good and just lining up together. Honestly, I will say another fed that could be actually pretty good in the future is Legacy. No, like no, I mean no bias, but like I just like I'm friends with all the owners and
Yes,
I love the fed
sir.
already. But
Legacy. Shout out to Legacy. They're an amazing Fed. That's I'm so glad you said that.
yeah, they've had a lot of cheaters at it recently, because but like honestly, that's nothing they can control. Uh, what we're gonna stop? Like I don't know, the cheaters recently have been pretty bad, so I don't really know.
Yeah, cheaters. Oh my God. There's that's a whole rabbit hole we could go down because that is another thing that is slowly ruining our community. Cheaters, cheaters, cheaters. In fact, you as a Fed owner, you have to deal with that on a daily, weekly basis. Cheaters. And it becomes such a hassle because the question is, why are people cheating, right? Like, this is supposed to be a fun, semi competitive um, game, sport, right? Well, not sport, but game. Like, this is just supposed to be something that when you get off work or you come home from school, something that you can do as a hobby. But it's become so competitive and so intense that people are now going out of their way to buy cheats, to find scripts, to find people to give them scripts, and trying to bypass the anti cheats and the safeguards that we already have in place. So, Chase, I want to ask, what is the reason for this?
Honestly, because people just fucking simply suck at the game, or they're just doing it for fun to see how many titles they can win in a certain like extended period of time. That's like kind of the point of people alting now. So like just cheat and then be on the account and say you won this amount of titles, blah 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 blah, and shit like that.
Chase, I want to now talk about adrenaline because you said yourself that this could be a potential top fed. You said yourself that this could be the future of the Roblox wrestling community. You of course are a OG to the Roblox wrestling community. You've been around for years now, so you know the ins and outs when it comes to being a real wrestler. You know the ins of outs and outs when it comes to being a Fed owner. Of course, like you said, there's a lot of things you can improve on. There's a lot of things that you can work on, but you have also said that you are friends with a multitude of different Fed owners, Sin, Hubert, multiple, Tyler, multiple people. So you know how to be a Fed owner. You know how to run a Fed. You get advice, criticism, suggestions from other Fed owners. So I want to talk about adrenaline really quickly, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think it is or it could be the future? And I don't want this to be a biased answer. I want you to give me your honest answer. Let's say you didn't even own um, adrenaline, and let's say you believed in the Fed. Why? What is that main reason as to why you think adrenaline is the future? Because every Fed owner says the same thing.
Honestly, because of the lack of the federations right now and nobody really giving a shit or trying with federations, I plan on just like putting in the work for it and then just like seeing how it pays off, which I know it will, as it should. Um, just being consistent, really. It's just the main thing.
Being consistent. A lot of people say that same thing. Are you saying being consistent overall, or being consistent in certain categories, such as promotion and media, such as production, or what do you mean by being consistent? Because let me say this: there are a lot of Fed owners out there who host every single week, who post on Twitter every single week, and yet they're not getting results, yet they're not seeing improvement, yet they're not seeing progress, yet they're not seeing growth. So what do you mean when you say being consistent?
The simple answer to it is being everything, but like the point you said, promoting every week, that has to be every single day, at least twice.
Right. Because more people have got to know about you.
Yeah, that's like kind of the whole goal of promoting. So like more people get to like see your product, and then you get to expand it out there.
And so, how far do you want to take Adrenaline? Because if we look at Pro Wrestling today, you see what OPRW is doing. This storyline, I got the amazing opportunity to interview him a couple days ago. The storyline with Kaysnn Jersey and ATG, that was phenomenal. That Kaysnn himself said that is how you do a storyline. And of course, you see the graphics that OPRW put out. You see the promotion and the advertising that they do. They do at least 4 to 5 posts every single day, and you can see how big they are. With CGW, their production, I seen screenshots and media clips of them hosting today. They do it big. They do it big. Their production team is amazing. Qbert is an amazing person. And of course, Elite, Legacy, IPWE when it was around. There's so many things, right? With being consistent. So what do you think Adrenaline? Where do you want to take Adrenaline?
Honestly, we're just gonna see how the road takes it because honestly, I haven't really like no certain goal in mind besides just being one of the top feds.
Right. And so with being, of course, with being a top fed, that means you will have to run through competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, we're not gonna know until like because the future holds like maybe there could be another rising fed that just randomly comes out of nowhere and becomes really good. Who knows? We're gonna see after OPRW ends, and then like because there's multiple feds. There's multiple feds like RW. Like I'm pretty sure supposedly ending very soon.
Really? Now that's the first time I actually heard about that. That's interesting as well because that's another huge fed in the community. Chase, I have a few more questions for you before we wrap up here.
All right.
Saturday, March 28th, your Fed Adrenaline Wrestling is hosting your WrestleMania pay-per-view, correct?
Yeah.
What is going through your mind currently? WrestleMania is the biggest stage of them all, meaning this is essentially the climax of your federation, meaning everything from your production, from your advertising, from your storylines, every single thing must align accordingly. So what is going through your mind? Are you nervous about this event? Are you confident about this event? What things can we expect from this event?
Honestly, there's no pressure at all. I don't really like feel anything towards it because like I mean I feel like it just like it like it would be another NGPW show, but now it's just an adrenaline show. Uh, Honestly, just a lot of things like expected things a lot like they expect the unexpected really. I know I'm pretty confident it's gonna be a really great show. I've had other people tell me like they think it's gonna be like one of the best shows like they're gonna see for a long time, which I hope that actually is the case. But honestly, there's really nothing going through my mind. I don't feel any pressure towards it or nothing.
Really?
No, it's just I see it. It's just fun.
I love that mindset. What are some matches that we can expect from this Mania pay-per-view?
All right. So let me like break it down a little bit of some matches. We got Stem Saber Jr. versus Divine Damien for the World Championship.
That's gonna be major.
We got Gruden Moxley versus Macho Challin for the World Heavyweight Championship, which I think is going to be Gruden's final match in Pro Wrestling ever.
Oh wow.
We got Kami Logic versus somebody. I'm not going to reveal any names. It's going to be a showcase. Well, not really a showcase match, but it's just like kind of an open challenge. So Kami will be making his Adrenaline debut. We got We got a six-man worldwide championship, one of our minor titles. It's a six-man match between Kenzo Sage, Javon Evans, Vlone Sosa, Tana Rajan, Sin Mega, and another special surprise.
Hmm.
We have the tag team championship being defended. I'm not defended, just on the line between the Cataclysms and Air Lucent, which is Von Lucent and Air Branson. We have Rose Adams versus ST Styles for the Cruiserweight Championship. And another I guess we will say important match is Taylor Cataclysm versus Jalen Darian versus AA Jersey for the Junior Heavyweight Championship.
So these are some huge matches. I mean, you got some incredible superstars on that list. I mean, Cammy, just by himself, I've always wanted to interview Cammy Logic. He's an incredible superstar. But Chase, I wanted to ask, out of all these matches, and of course the weeks of build up towards these matches and the lead up to these face offs, what is your personal favorite match? What match are you really looking forward to? What match is to you could go either way?
Honestly, that Macho versus Gruden match could be really anyway, because I believe this actually might be Gruden's final just final draw in the community with this this could be this final match, and I see that match being probably the match of the whole show. That match it's had a lot of history, as you know might not know. They fought for the CWA Championship number one contendership a couple months ago, which Gruden won that match. So we'll see them running it back at Mania, but honestly, we're gonna see how that goes. That can go really any way, and I think that's gonna be the match of the show.
What do you think's the underdog match of this card?
Definitely the six-man match between for the worldwide championship.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say that?
Because I think that match is just a bunch of rising stars in the community just looking to make a name for themselves, including one a legendary, I would say, rare wrestler.
So we can expect some major returns, potentially even major debuts to this Adrenaline Mania pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
And that brings me to another question. I'm so glad that I thought about this before we let you go. Favoritism in pro wrestling. Chase, you know about it. There's tons of fat owners out there who show favoritism to certain superstars, show favoritism to those on their roster who they prefer over other people, and sometimes it could be even their own friends who are getting more opportunities than the other members of their roster. So what do you think? What's your take on favoritism? Do you believe that it should be something that is kept private, or do you think we just completely try to get rid of favoritism?
I won't say not even gonna lie to myself because I know I could be an attacked for it. I've definitely picked some favoritism over the past between rare wrestlers, but I don't think it's a great thing. That's why I try to avoid it and with housing federations. But I mean, I won't say I haven't done it before. I think it should just kind of be gone. I mean, I don't really I kind of try to avoid it at all costs.
I like that you got a good morale. That's amazing, especially with it being a fan owner. But Chase, I have one last question. And I'm sure you know what it is. It's the name of the podcast, the name of the talk show. Chase Challin, I want to know, are you relevant?
I would say yeah, man. I mean, multiple time champion and multiple federations around around the globe, honestly. And obviously just a rising star and also a Fed owner, which you don't see really much of us anymore. I say the biggest one we've seen do that, own a Fed and be a really good wrestler is Panda, but I'm looking to be one of those.
Yes, sir. And you are definitely on your way to being one of those. Chase, we can't thank you enough for giving us the time and the opportunity to interview you. It was an absolute pleasure. You dropped some incredible advice and gave a multitude of very great takes when it came to Roblox wrestling. You clearly know what you're doing. When it comes to being a Fed owner, you're clearly competent. When it comes to being a star here in the community. So we can't thank you enough for coming on today's episode. And as you guys know, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we will see you boys on the next one. But peace out for now.
It was my pleasure.